Hello friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to Throwback Thursday. This is a little series where I reach into my stash and I look for an older paper collection, tool, die, product, technique, and we make something fresh and new. This is a short throw. This goes back to the very beginning of 2023. This is about 10 months ago when Mintay released Nana's Kitchen, and I immediately fell in love with this beautiful vintage paper collection. So I'll just give you a quick look through. These are the 12 by 12 papers, and they're exceptionally beautiful. Just really rich vintage colors and patterns, sweet images, and then a cut apart sheet with this brick on the background. Now, everybody loves Mintay, but a lot of us find it hard to use because the patterns are large and ornate, and it can be difficult to incorporate into a card. They're great for scrapbooking, but a little bit harder for a card. So I'm going to show you today how to make a really sweet card, combining this with some goodies from Reneabouquets, and then I also have some of the die cut ephemera and some of the little tags and pockets, I think is what they called it. So let me clear my desk and we'll get started and we'll make something beautiful together. So I want to make a 6x6 card, and I went into my stash of kraft cardstock, and some time ago I had bought a fairly large quantity of what was advertised as 12 by 12 cardstock, but it was actually more like 12 by 11 3/4, which is annoying. So I've had a hard time using it, and I thought, well, let me just use it up. And I went ahead and cut a 5 7/8 by, see, it's like 12 and it's just a weird thing. Anyway, so it was like 12 1/4, and I scored it at 5 7/8, and then went over 1/4 inch and scored it again to make this little craft card base. If you have 6 by 6, you can save yourself the trouble. Cut your paper 5 3/4, score it 5 3/4, score it 6, and you'll have basically the same thing. It was a little trickier for me because of this weird cardstock. I went ahead and finished the inside of my card first, just in the interest of time, and I'll show you what I did. I took this panel, which is 5, I want to say it's 5 3/8. Yes, 5 3/8, and it was about 6, and I scored a 1/2 inch flap, and then I glued that back behind this panel of 5 5/8 by 5 5/8 of the plate pattern. This is one of the die cut circles that came, and I glued just the bottom part down to create a tuck spot, and then I hand wrote my favorite coffee cake recipe out on a recipe card and tucked it in there like that, like a sweet little gift. And then over here is a recipe for friendship that I just did up on my computer and printed out, and glue 3 sides, and you've got a pocket, and you can tuck in one of the pretty tags, and that serves as a bookmark. So that's the little folio part at the top. And of course, here you can write a little note. Then down here, I added a little pocket. And if you're not familiar with pockets, you can go to my Paper Crafting 101 playlist on YouTube, and I have one that's all about pockets, and it will show you how to make a pocket. So I added this little pocket at the bottom. I took one of the little envelopes that came with the die cuts that I bought, and I dressed it up with a little belly band and some of the die cuts, punched a hole in the top, put vintage lace, and then tied this baker's twine. And then this is a piece of chocolate, and this is a honey stick. So just a sweet little gift to send to someone you love. So we don't have a cover, so that's what we're going to work on today. I'm a little short on time, so I'm moving this along. I used the check, and I just stitched this up on my sewing machine with some beige thread. I took this scrap and overlapped it in the middle. I wanted sort of a belly band, but this won't show because we're going to create another little layer here. This is a super simple card recipe. You can use this for any card and it will look terrific. And you can see I stitched this. Now this is a little corner out of one of those 12 by 12 patterns. So it's going to look like this, and we're just going to glue this down. But this is how you use these larger images. You don't need a lot of it. A little bit of it goes a long, long way. So I'm going to center this up, top and sides. Get it straight. Okay. Then I went into the die cuts and I found these pretty curtain pieces. And I've backed these with foam tape. It's pretty thick. I think I went 4 layers because I wanted this to have like a real almost shadow box feel so that this could be set out sort of as a display piece. And I'm going to put these, I'm going to bring this down so I can make sure I'm straight and lined up. Right here, okay? Then I went into my stash of Reneabouquets and I found this beautiful little filigree piece. And I tapped it with Versamark and heat embossed it with Stampendous Aged Ivory Embossing Enamel. And we're just going to put a little bit of hot glue and set this right here. And see how this frames the plates and it really draws your eyes to them. So that's beautiful. You could leave this like this and you would be good, but why would I do that? So this is a brand new release from Reneabouquets. This is Printed Beautiful board and it's got a tea theme, which if you know me, you know I love this. So I'm going to glue this down. I put a double layer of foam tape in the center, and I'm going to put this down right here. Just like that. So sweet. So do you see how now we've created a scene, and it feels like you could walk in here and sit down. I'm going to take these little, this little flower die cut from the paper collection, and I'm going to glue this in just like this. I can see I have some glue webs to contend with here. Okay, there we go. That's looking really good. All right, so I've gathered some goodies. I went into my stash and I found this precious little vintage clock charm. I put just a little bit of my Dries Clear adhesive on the back, and I want this to sit in the center of our little flourish. And I'll link to all of these on my blog, and then I will put the link to my blog in the description box. This is an old Prima Mechanicals clock that I dug out of my stash. I painted with chalk paint and rubbed most of it off, and then came in and rubbed a little patina wax. So we're going to glue that down there and just let that set for a minute. And now we're going to bring in, this is the new Autumn Bliss flowers from Reneabouquets. So we're going to make a little floral arrangement here. I'm going to put a little foam tape down right about here. Just a small piece right about here. And I'm doing one of the gold leaves with one of the brown leaves. I'm going to put this right here. So you can just watch and listen to music as I finish off this little floral display. I'm just going to add a little button to cap off my bow. These are vintage buttons. And now I found these little stick pins I thought would be sweet to add if I can get them in through the glue. There we go. And see, this brings this color from up here down here, so it kind of ties it together. Now I've got this beautiful Reneabouquets butterfly. I think these are the sea glass. And I want to put it in the center of my clock, my little sundial. But I'm going to scatter some of her glitter, her German glitter glass in here first. So this is I think this is the sea glass. And this is super fine. So just put that in there to bring out the teals. And then this is look how pretty this is. It's like gold and tan. And we'll just put that in there with it. That will have to dry, and when it dries, the adhesive will disappear. And now I'm going to take this beautiful butterfly and just set it right down in there. So now all I have to do, things are drying, but now all I have to do is mat this on the cover of my card, and this is really sweet. Oh my goodness, what a sweet card. I'm kind of in love, you guys. Being careful with some of these elements that were just glued down. I'm going to try to do this very carefully. It looks pretty good. Come in with my little buddy here. Press these into place. I'll come back and get the glue that is kind of oozed out. I like this little bone folder because it will get down in to these between the layers. All right. Well, there you go. Reneabouquets does it again. She steals my heart. This is so beautiful. I really love this. So I'm not going to mess with it too much because it's still drying, but I wanted you to see how cute it is when it's on this craft frame. I may come in with a paintbrush, but this has got so much dimension. You feel like you can just walk right into the scene. And how sweet are these little girls having their tea party with their babies. I love this. All right, guys, that's it for me, Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design. There'll be a photo array that follows this tutorial so you can get looks at all the close-up pictures. I will put the link to my blog where I will link to all the different supplies that I've used so you can source those easily. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you along to join the fun. All right, I'm going to clean up my mess and then go get my craft on some more. Thanks for joining me. Bye.